coaster season might have been the worst year for roller coasters that there has ever been. So let's get right into what bad things happened this year. Major reasons why this year was a pretty bad year for roller coasters is all the ride closures and ride delays. There wasn't really much roller coaster openings that were actually quality in the United States. I mean, we got Top Thrill 2 to be open for 8 days, but that wasn't really that much. And the ride didn't open for the rest of the year. So that really sucked. So what was the biggest coaster that opened in the US in 2024? And that was Menace at Dorney Park. Dorney Park's brand new BMM dive coaster, their first coaster in over 25 years that was built from the ground up, replaced their Vekoma inverted boomerang called Stinger. So this ride was supposed to be a pretty good dive coaster, except it had a big rattle to it. If you haven't seen it, it's a big jolt on the final turn into the final brake run. Worse, this is a brand new roller coaster from BMM, which most BMMs are pretty smooth, but this one was not. It was quote-unquote rough. It wasn't that good of a ride. It'll probably be Dorney Park's only major coaster for a while, so this is a disappointing addition. Rides like Flash Vertical Velocity got delayed until 2025, which this ride did look pretty promising. Like, it was going up pretty quickly. It completed track work in over a week, so this ride seemed pretty promising to open. But it's Six Flags, they don't start construction early enough, and then the ride gets delayed until 2025. Georgia Surfer at Six Flags Over Georgia. This is the first Intamin Ultra Surf to be built. So this is a pretty unique ride, even though it might have been a sleeper hit. It never opened though, because it's Six Flags. They never construct rides on time, and so most of the time, all their roller coasters get delayed. Over in Europe though, things went a little differently. So we got rides like Hyperia, Voltron. So Europe had two really strong coasters, and they both opened and stayed open, unlike Top Thrill 2, which did not stay open. So Voltron was highly praised, also Hyperia, because they're really well received, so these rides are pretty good. And Nemesis Reborn. So they have 3 major coasters, and they stayed open, and they were quality coasters. Nemesis Reborn is a retracked version of the old Nemesis at Alton Towers in the UK. So this ride has been praised for being better than the original Nemesis with better theming. But so it's debatable if it has a better ride experience than the older Nemesis. So Europe had a pretty good year for the 2024 season, but the US did not have a good year. Some of the big ride closures of the year. This year had a lot of roller coasters closed. Some iconic ones too, like Scorpion at Busch Gardens Tampa. Ka is one of the ones that really hit the most because it's the world's tallest and fastest roller coaster. And it's an icon of New Jersey and the whole world. So this one was a big, sad loss. We also lost rides like Green Lantern, Nighthawk at Carowinds, which it wasn't really loved. So this one wasn't really that bad of a closure. It was kind of more of a celebration because it wasn't my worst roller coasters list, if you've been watching the channel for long enough. And Anaconda, which will not be missed by coaster enthusiasts, including me. This was probably the ultimate Christmas present that you could possibly have, is that Anaconda is no more. Wrap up, the 2024 coaster season was pretty bad for the US, but for other countries, it was a pretty good coaster season. But for here, it was probably the worst year for coasters in the entire world. It was a pretty bad year. 2017 was a bad year, but this year is even worse than 2017. So this year is pretty bad. So yeah, so please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.